Hi everyone, I'm Samira and welcome to my brand new Booktube channel. I'm new, so I'm going to do the Booktube Newbie Tag and jump right in. Question number 1, why did you start this channel? When I was a freshman in college, I read Shutter Island by Daniel Lehane, and the plot twist was so good, and I had no one to talk about it with, so I dragged my boyfriend at the time down to the dining hall, told him the entire plot of the book beginning to end, just so I could discuss the ending with him. And that was when I realized I needed to find people to talk to books about. And here I am, hopefully able to find people who I can talk about books with. What are some fun and unique things you can bring to BookTube? I personally don't read a ton of YA fantasy, and so I really wanted to start a channel that talked about books that maybe don't get as much recognition on BookTube. So maybe more little-known authors, more little-known literary fiction, contemporary classics, things that don't get talked about as much. And so I think that's something unique that I can definitely bring to this channel. What are you most excited about for this new channel? To make friends, to find people to talk about books with. In college, I was a business major, and so I really didn't get a chance to talk to friends about what I've been reading or bounce around ideas about books. So I'm really looking forward to meeting people who also love to read that I can talk with. Why do you love reading? Why do I love reading? That's a very hard question. I think I love it because it's kind of permeated into every other aspect of my life. Like, I literally cannot be in any situation and not think about an amazing book I read, or how someone reminds me of a character from a book, or how a character from a book reminds me of another person. And it's something that's so ingrained in my everyday life that brings me so much joy. It's a very homey feel for me to pick up a book and read it. Another thing I love about reading is the actual physicality of picking up a book, especially if it's older. I also love the pure physical aspect of being able to just pick up a book, especially if it's older, and flip through the pages and feel the spine and smell the smell. It feels like home, and I love it. What book or series got you into reading? Fun fact, as a 4th grader, I started reading Louise Duncan, which for some reason meant that me at 10 years old was reading things like I Know What You Did Last Summer, Killing Mr. Griffin, The Third Eye, very witchy type things, which were definitely not age appropriate, but that's kind of what dropped me right into the world of reading, into the world of deeper concepts. And so Louise Duncan, which was definitely not okay for a 10-year-old to read, was what got me into reading. What questions would you ask your favorite booktubers? I would ask my favorite booktubers, when there's so many other people talking about their favorite books, how do you keep your own individuality, and how do you keep your own personal taste when there's so many people talking about other things as well? Is it hard to not get influenced by the masses when you have your own personal taste that maybe isn't the same as everyone else? And how do you keep up your energy when you're making your videos? What challenges do you think making a booktube channel will be the hardest to overcome? Personally, I don't read like 10 books a week. And so sometimes I'll have dry spells. There will be times where I'll read a lot, and then there will be a month where I maybe don't read anything. And so I think it might be challenging for me to like pick up the pace with my reading and to be able to keep it going. But that's something that I'm actually really excited for, especially in quarantine now. I have so much time. So I think that's definitely a challenge, but a welcome one. When did you start reading? I started reading very young when I first read The Very Hungry Caterpillar, and I saw that the book had pages like cut to show the caterpillar eating the food, and that was my first introduction into how cool books were and how creative they can be. And yeah, where do you read? I read at home mostly, either in my bed, or if I'm listening to an audiobook, I'll just kind of walk around outside. But my favorite place to read is by the pool in the evening, eating cherries. What kind of books do you like to read? Mostly I read fiction. Specifically, I love classics. I love contemporary works. I love literary fiction. Anything that's very character driven or that makes you feel like you're falling in love with the writing are things that I really love to read. A few of my favorites: The Road by Cormac McCarthy. Definitely cried my eyes out. Definitely felt down for a few days after reading, but I was really into it. The Reader by Bernhard Schlink. Really, really good. Love the writing. Had a lot of things to say about it. No one to talk about it with, so here I am on BookTube. Never Let Me Go by Kazuo Ishiguro. Amazing. Incredible. Highly recommend. One of my all-time favorite books, Jane Eyre by... Why did I forget who it was by? Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte. Best book I think I've read in a long, long time. gothic, mystery, creepy, feminist, good writing. Great. And then my all-time favorite book ever, forever, always, The Picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde. I have so many things to say about Oscar Wilde and not enough time. These are just a few of my favorites. I'm always trying to read more and discover new things, so I'm really excited to make this channel. And if y'all want to talk about books with me, feel free to subscribe. Thanks! Okay! Bye! Okay, I'm really glad we did that. We're done.